There you are. Well, welcome. This is such an amazing... Oh, I guess I should talk louder. This is an amazing afternoon to celebrate, and so I want to welcome you all. My name is Jolene Bainey, and I am a practitioner here at New Vision Center. And so my role this morning is to just give a few words of introduction to some of you may not know what a practitioner is, and so I'm here to kind of give you an overview of that. And I realize that there's no way I can do that. It's an immense honor and responsibility to, as we call the practitioners, be the healing arm of not only the center, but really of the world, because we are practitioners out there in the world, and whether you know it or not, everyone you touch, everyone you meet, feels that presence and feels that safety. And I think you will know that practitioner heart extends out to the whole world. So the role of a practitioner is, with these studies, these last 20 years of study, is really to prepare you for that role. It is intense, as you know. I look back 14 years ago of what happened during my 2 years of practitioner study, and I think some of probably the most life-changing decisions were made during that time. I got divorced, I moved to the other side of the world, I came back, I met the love of my life. I almost lost him to a life-threatening disease the month before Practitioner 2 was done and graduation occurred. So I get it. Stuff happened while you were doing these studies. And I think that daily substantial spiritual practice is really what it's all about, because that gives you the grounding. I like to make an analogy of practicing, like if you're a basketball player, and there is daily practice, and you practice and you practice and you practice, so that when somebody throws you the ball and says game on, that you show up, you suit up, and you're prayed up, and you can respond because you are so ready and so steeped in that faith. So that's what I want to say about what practitioners are: ready to face the world, ready to make a difference, and that you are now, as a licensed practitioner, eligible to teach classes, to do actual practitioner sessions, paid counseling or coaching sessions. We don't use the word counseling really. And that you're in service to this community. And so the most important thing is that heart of a practitioner that you now are demonstrating, and I include Heather in that as well, that she, throughout this whole journey, showed the heart of a practitioner like I have never seen. And so with that, let us pray. And so just taking in this moment, we know that there is an energy of love that each and every one of us feels for these beloveds who are completing this journey, and we celebrate with them, knowing that there is the heart of a practitioner beating inside of them eternally, and that this journey is just beginning. There is more to be revealed and more to celebrate, and so we do that today by honoring them on this day and saying together, and so it is.
Thank you, Jolene. Well, on behalf of New Vision Center, I would like to welcome each and every one of you here. Thank you for being here in the sanctuary that is thankfully cooling down. Thanks for being here via our online technical abilities. It is a joy to have you here. New Vision Center has a vision, and our vision is to reveal the power of love. And we always talk about how we are expressing it. Our mission statement helps us with that, and that is we teach spiritual living and we live spiritual teaching. And practitioner studies, beloveds, is a demonstration where those two components come together. Because make no mistake, in order to be a practitioner, yes, we have to study. We have to study this spiritual teaching. And to be a practitioner in the world, we have to live this teaching out loud. We don't ever leave it behind just because we go grocery shopping or we drive on the freeway. So those are some of the thoughts that I had. And yes, we are celebrating these beloveds who have gone through this rigorous training. And I also want to take a moment and draw attention to this training program, this practitioner studies here at New Vision Center. It is such an important part that our Associate Minister, Reverend Leslie, is the one who is teaching the practitioner studies. She has support, there's a team that steps in at times, but it's really the guidance and the spiritual leadership of Reverend Leslie that has made this program so successful. So I think we're going to start by acknowledging her. This service here today is filled with love. We have some surprises built in, especially for our brand new practitioners. And it is such a joy to be here. I would like to let everybody know that our music team today is Mark Arnold, you will be hearing on the piano, and Jackie Lee, who will be providing the vocals for today's music. And how wonderful is that? And without further ado, I would like to call up Darlene Britton and Janet Gottschalk for the Declaration of Principles.
The Declaration of Principles was published first by our founder, Ernest Holmes, in 1927. And these principles remain today. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God.
We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in humankind, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit.
We believe in the internality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding.
We believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it.
We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all.
We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God.
We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence.
We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God.
We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by the creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it.
We believe in the healing of the sick and through the power of this mind.
We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind.
We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all.
We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. For we understand that the life of all is God. So I'd like to call up Tina Velassi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tina, and we have some practitioners and people that are not able to be here physically today, but we know that they are here with us in spirit and mind, and they each had something that they wanted to bestow a few words on our new, spanking new practitioners. I'm so excited.
Hello, and welcome, new beloved practitioners. I'm so excited and I congratulate you on this most amazing journey, because it is a journey. And it is a beautiful journey, though at times it can be so difficult. But the blessing of what we go through to become a practitioner, that peeling away of the onion, that embracing our inner truth, is just unbelievably magnificent. It is delicious. And I know that you both, including Heather, who is there in spirit, I bless her and her new wonderful journey. She is truly, truly the heart of a practitioner. And I know the same for you, Rachel, and for you, Maureen. You both have these amazing practitioner hearts. And I bless this experience, knowing that this journey continues on forever, but it's still amazing and juicy. There is nothing like going in and embracing and falling in love with our own inner expression, in our own inner being. I bless you. I love you. And congratulations. Congratulations on this most amazing journey. Namaste.
Hi, Maureen. Hi, Rachel. I just had to participate so that I could tell you congratulations. What a significant threshold you passed today, from being practitioner students into licensed professional practitioners. Let that sink in and celebrate the good. Celebrate this threshold that you're crossing together, because after today, your life will never be quite the same. And what a blessing that is. I know that throughout this day that Heather is on our minds and in our hearts. And so we celebrate that threshold as well, because Spirit is present in each one completely, thoroughly. So today we celebrate the love that both of you bring to this world, bring to this community, and know that the practitioners that are already here have been waiting for you and welcome you and love you. Celebrate.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Leslie Goodwin, and I'm the Associate Minister here at New Vision Center. And as Reverend Karen, our Senior Minister, mentioned, one of the things that live under my umbrella is the adult education program, all the way from that very first foundational class till this moment at graduation, when a practitioner, after a minimum of 4 years and often significantly more, comes to this place of completing the life of the student and steps into the life of the teacher and the mentor and the walking example in consciousness. This was a special class. Every class is special. Practitioners, your class was special too. This was a particularly interesting class. It was a small class, 3 students, deeply bonded, and everyone in this class, including myself as the instructor and Reverend Jeff as one of the instructors, we all were going through big things in our lives. We had marriages end, we had family members transition, we had health challenges go on, we had job changes occur. And there's something about holding the container for one another that bonded this group so spectacularly that it helped them learn on a new level how to hold the container for one another. They became practitioners to one another on a very real level. It is my opportunity to share a little bit about the practitioner call. To be a licensed professional practitioner is a high calling. We keep clarifying, you're noticing licensed professional practitioner, and that is because anyone who chooses to practice the universal principles of science of mind is a practitioner of science of mind with what we would call a lowercase p. However, a whole other thing happens when Spirit taps you on the inside and says, you know what you need? Lots of years of more classes. And Reverend Leslie to ask you 470 times how your spiritual practice is going. Everybody loves that. But when we do it, when we commit to this path, realizing that what we're really signing up for is a life of deep, deep service and spiritual alignment, when we say yes to that path, everything in our universe starts to rearrange to create a space in which we can be the presence of love for literally anyone who comes into our space. A professional practitioner holds the consciousness for the entire community. Yes, on Sundays, you often see one of us over holding the high watch or up here giving a prayer. But what you may not be aware of is that our practitioner corps is holding the high watch for the community and everyone that calls at home or friend every single day in our own spiritual practice. We're holding that same high consciousness for all beings, all sentient beings, including and perhaps most importantly for those for whom it is difficult for us to see their humanity, their deep love. Those who may not be expressing their love openly, political leaders, people who have different beliefs than we do. If we truly believe what we say we do, which is that we honor every faith tradition, every political approach, every way of being in this world, recognizing that all sentient beings come from the one, then it is our role as practitioners to set the example of that deep acceptance of all beloveds. So too it requires a devotion to our own individual spiritual practice, to hold that same high consciousness for ourselves, to never use words about ourselves for which we would turn to another and say, no, we don't talk about people like that, to hold ourselves to that same high standard, to know that we are God in physical form, the highest God and the innermost God, one God, and we are that. We are all that. You have earned this role, but that doesn't mean it will be easy. It means continually working to deepen into the one, to connect with the truth of the one. It should be easy, right? Because it's always been the truth. All we're doing is letting fall away anything that was never true. And yet, every day, there's a reason we call it daily substantial spiritual practice. That's what it takes to remember, to remember, to remember who we are. And we must remember who we are, because that's how we remember who everybody else is. You may have moments of imposter syndrome. Goodness knows I did, and still do sometimes. For anybody who doesn't know, imposter syndrome is that moment where you think, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a complete and total fraud. You have what it takes right now. You had what it took before we even started. But now you've got the piece of paper to prove it. It may not always feel like it, though. It may not always feel like you have what it takes. And so I turn to the words of our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, in his pamphlet, helpfully entitled, Instructions to Practitioners. He said, do not feel that you have to know it all. The person who thinks they know it all is a very unfortunate individual. If there could be anyone who knew it all, what a terrible position the universe would be in. It would mean that God would be exhausted, or cosmic life would die of boredom. There isn't any system of thought or any person who can know it all. And we don't have to. We don't have to, because Spirit does, God does. And we have access to that wisdom through our own internal truth, our internal source. Heather knew that and reminded us all the time. There will be times, and there probably already have been, when people haven't understood what this thing is that you're doing. What is this practitioner? What is science of mind? What do you believe? Why do you have to go to so many classes? Why is there so much homework? What is this daily practice? And there can be a tendency to try to convince people that this is good, that this is right, that this is important. We don't need to. We don't need to. There's no need to convince anyone of anything. A beautiful thing about this faith is that we don't expect anybody to change anything about their life. We all have family that practice different religions, different faith traditions, and perhaps none at all. And we can love them right there, knowing that they're doing the best thing for them, and just celebrate the goodness of that. We can share our truth without any attachment to anybody agreeing, because our life is our testament. Ernest said this: first, last, and all the time, our process is demonstration. Our whole process is demonstration. And that demonstration begins right here. It's the demonstrating of a greater peace in our own life, a greater joy in our own consciousness, a greater spontaneity in our whole expression, and a fuller, happier, more successful life. People will see these things outside of the mission to convert. We have no mission to convert. Ours is a mission of entering more completely into the joy of living. We want that we shall be a group of people who talk less and do more. Let us practice our belief in our own interior until people see in our daily living the outward result of our inner belief and conviction. That is what being a practitioner is. Enjoy this new adventure. So much energy is put on getting there, and the ministers and practitioners in the room from this community and many of our sister communities, and I really want to thank everybody for being present to celebrate these three beloveds. We all know, in order to become a minister in science of mind, you must be a practitioner first, and you remain a practitioner for all time. We get more robes that are very hot in the summer, and we collect many stools, but truly, we become practitioners that also minister in an additional way, but that that heart, that practitioner heart that Heather spoke of so beautifully, so eloquently, and so continually, is what carries each one of us through our practitioner practice, our ministerial practice. Here at New Vision Center, you are being welcomed into a loving practitioner core of 15 people plus 3 ministers, a global community of thousands of practitioners, both in CSL and in independent communities all over the world that practice science of mind. And I can feel, and I trust that you can feel, the energy of all of the practitioners that over the last almost 100 years have served communities just like ours, and all of the practitioners that are yet to come. You are loved, appreciated, seen, and valued. Congratulations. I would like to invite our graduates up to the platform. Rachel, I'll have you join me here. Maureen, I'm going to invite you to take a seat, and you may notice that we also have a chair here to represent Heather. We know her consciousness is absolutely with us this day. Rachel has been invited to give a few thoughts on behalf of the graduating class.
So, have you ever felt that there is something you are longing for, but you can't quite name it or see it, or you don't fully know what it's all about? You just know that you cannot remain as you are, but you must reach and expand towards whatever it is. Like seeds that are planted in the soil and watered, they swell with knowing that they cannot remain as is. They must reach down. They must reach up. Through what? To what? For how long? They don't know, but it's towards a fuller expression of their being, towards their birthright to blossom. This is a little bit of what we've been through over the past number of years, even decades, because our journey to now began even before our official practitioner training started. But we'll pick up there because I only have a couple minutes. And I feel like I need to start by telling you this. Way back in the summer of 2021, at the meeting where I signed my papers to say that I was legit gonna go through this practitioner training, I remember Rev Leslie warning me that it was highly likely that I would hit points where I would feel overwhelmed and would want to quit. And she reminded us again of this in our first class, letting us know that we would probably take turns with this. We all felt so ready to enter practitioner training that it was a little hard to imagine ever feeling like we might not want to continue. Plus, it's a little intimidating being told that at the get-go. It's intense, right? But Rev Leslie wasn't trying to weed out the weak or intimidate us. She was letting us know the caliber of work that we were intentionally, of our own accord, stepping into. Like she said, practitioners literally know in their consciousness the truth of oneness, wholeness, and goodness that is at the very center of all of life, at the center of each person, situation, the ones that look lovely from the outside and the ones that don't so much. A licensed practitioner's job is to help anchor others in this spiritual truth and to support others in embodying the health, peace, abundance, and love that they desire to reveal in their lives. So if we really wanted to step into that on behalf of others, we had to do the work on our own hearts and our own consciousness, because we can only ever guide others to the depth that we're willing to go ourselves. And let me tell you, all 3 of us were willing. Year 1 can be super confronting because you take all the things out of the closet of your soul, you look at them, turn them over, feel the feels they bring up, get clear about what you think, notice the limiting beliefs that might be holding you back, and you hear what your invitation might be for continued growth. And I'm not gonna lie, it's really uncomfortable. We were each facing challenges in our lives, painful divorce, family conflict, news of cancer, death of loved ones, in addition to decades of life experience that we had been collecting. And each week, circumstance and condition offered us a new opportunity to pull something out and to look at it, to examine it more closely. And even though it was uncomfortable, we allowed ourselves to remember that what we were actually doing was realigning with the truth that was already present within our very being, that it was more of a remembering from the inside out than a learning from the outside in. Even when we still couldn't fully see exactly where we were going, we were willing to keep leaning in, listening, reaching, and growing. And it was in our safe, co-created, sacred container that we each found our practitioner hearts in our own ways, at the time that was just right for each of us. We each realized that we were ready for what was next, beyond the rigorous training of class. We were present in the process of our souls embodying the birthright of blossoming. And with grace, beauty, and love, Heather's blossoming in the infinitude of her practitioner's heart brought her to a place of completion with her physical life on this plane. And it is bittersweet to not have Heather up here with us. Her brilliant red hair, her shining eyes, and her heart that radiated love always. Yet we are grateful for the time that we had together and delighted to have been on this journey, the three of us together. It was an honor to witness one another along the way. And now Maureen and I are proud to walk forward and to continue our soul's journey of blossoming through being licensed practitioners here at New Vision Center. Maureen describes it this way: becoming a practitioner means that I see life through a new lens of love. All things are possible. I feel the power of love in my life as I know that I am an expression of love, creativity, and compassion. I trust that life unfolds in absolute harmony as I peel away the layers and reveal the love that I am in greater ways. And we are grateful for the broader organization of Centers for Spiritual Living. And we acknowledge all that we have received from this center, from Rev Karen, from the Practitioner Corps, and most definitely from our brilliant and fearless leader, Rev Leslie, along with Rev Jeff and Jolene and Bernice. We are committed to the continuous process of going deeper and expanding wider, to continuing to blossom and know in every cell of our being the truth of our essential goodness and wholeness. And now we get to give back. We get to hold safe and sacred space for others who are ready to go deeper and expand wider and to blossom fully and know in every cell of their being the truth of their essential wholeness and goodness. And for this, we are grateful. I want to leave you with a quote from Mark Nepo, author and poet, whose assigned writings moved each of us deeply. In 7,000 Ways to Listen, he writes, "The wildflower's reward for trusting what it senses but doesn't yet know is to become what it was born to be, a flower whose inevitable place is realized in a small moment of oneness as it joins with elements that were here before it came and will live on once it dies. As a soul on earth, this is all we can hope for. To feel the light and being of all time course through our veins while we blossom. And may we all continue reaching, deepening, and blossoming into our fullest expression of divine love." Thank you.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've ever won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. So get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
We're going to take a moment to enjoy a bit of a deep dive into each of our beautiful practitioner graduates. And we're going to start by talking about Heather Chakraborty Stern. You've already heard a lot about her, and that is not a surprise because she was such an integral, deep, powerful part of this class and this community. For anybody who hasn't caught the gist, Heather was so ready to be done with practitioner training and to take it to the angelic level that between finishing her licensing exam a little bit more than 6 weeks ago, I think, and today she skipped off to another dimension to go be heavenly. We didn't know that was going to happen. And isn't that life? We often don't know what's going to happen. What we do know, what I know, is that she sat in my office in the summer of 2019 after a class, and she said, Reverend Leslie, I'm going to do prac training. And it feels a little ballsy. And I asked her what was her intention with wanting to do prac training. What did she want to do as a practitioner? And she said, oh, I'm not even worried about that. I just want to develop a practitioner's heart, practitioner's consciousness. I'm sure I'll do cool stuff. I'm sure you'll help me figure it out. But I just want that consciousness. I want it to live in me all the time, every day. All through her 3 years of class, because she was serious. She was really serious about just wanting to develop that consciousness, that when at the end of Prac 1, the way it worked out, there wasn't anyone to continue with her to Prac 2. I gave her the option, we can do it, just the two of us, or we can hook you up with another community or an online center to do Practitioner 2. She said, no, I'll just do it again with Rachel and Maureen. It's not like you can have too much Practitioner 1. And that's exactly what she did. And thank goodness, because it landed her in this sistership of the three, and indeed the four of us that have walked each other through some of the most challenging things that have ever happened in our lives, and indeed with Heather, the completion of this physical life. But we also got to hold each other through a marriage, to a soulmate, a job change, actually quite a few job changes that were transformational, expanding and opening our hearts again after heartbreak, and a million other things, large and small. Heather had an amazing spiritual practice. One of the other things I probably told Rachel and everybody else in that fateful meeting, that anybody who's thinking about becoming a practitioner, fair warning, that meeting is coming for you too. In addition to warning people that you might try to quit, everybody does, I did, literally everybody does, and we'll let you if you really want to, but we'll also love you through finding your way back to center. I also talk about this thing, this daily spiritual practice that is substantial and important and essential. And of all the people I've ever had in one of those meetings that I knew that this was not an essential conversation, it was Heather, because she had such an entrenched practice even before prac training started. She would tell us stories about being in the cancer infusion center, getting her chemo, and how the doctors would say, they would call her their rock star, that she was the most centered, the most positive, the most beautiful. People would be having a hard time in the infusion center getting their chemo, and she would pray with them while she was getting her own medication. She was already doing this work. She built the most beautiful prayer partnerships. It was really difficult not finding who to speak at which event on her behalf, but paring it down, because so many people hold her in such a special place in their hearts. She was so determined to finish this class. Even as the medication and the illness was sapping her vitality, it never touched her spirit. It never touched her high intention to be God in action. And she completed the class, and she passed her licensing exam. And I never, ever tell them what their grade was, but she got the best grade in the class. And less than a week later, her family got the news that the cancer had spread to the point where there was nothing more they could do. And at that point, they became very aware that Heather wasn't fully understanding what was going on. One week. But she held it in and finished that exam because it was a threshold experience for her that meant that there would be no separation between her consciousness and the consciousness of the One. I think she had passed that point a good deal before that moment, but that's what it meant to her. So, Heather, there's no getting out of the work, love. Leaving did not get you off. You don't get to cheat. Now you're in a place where you can do this work for absolutely everyone on the planet and beyond. Michael Beckwith calls science of mind trans-denominational. It's beyond the concept of a denomination because it holds everyone in the high consciousness. I think Heather's practitioner work is trans-dimensional. Whatever we need from her, to speak with her, to hear her voice and her thoughts and her approach to truth, she's right there in the quiet place of meditation and listening, always, always. And so I'm going to invite Maureen forward to share a prayer that Heather wrote during our studies on being immortal, having our soul be immortal.
Life is infinitely flowing, and this ever-flowingness of life is spirit. Spirit flows to, through, in, and around as everything. Spirit is absolutely everything, from the tiniest grain of sand to the tallest of mountains and the sky and beyond. Spirit is the divine wisdom of our thoughts, words, and actions. I am one with the one mind that is spirit. I am the divine wisdom that flows through, in, and around, and as all thought and action. I am one with the beloved one. I know as the fullest individualized expression of the divine that I am, that divine wisdom guides me in everything that I do, every interaction. I know that in this divine wisdom, whatever words to be heard or spoken in any given moment come to mind and flow with ease and grace. I claim the most powerful love of spirit fueling everything I do. I radiate this life of spirit out into the world. I know the fullness and richness of life that is spirit, and I hold my consciousness in high regard so that I see and reveal the truth in all instances. I am so grateful for the divine wisdom and guidance that runs throughout my life. I am thankful for the law that makes it so. I am thankful for seeing and knowing the truth. I release my word into universal law, knowing it is already done and for my highest good, and that it is all good. And so it is.
As Heather was readying to make her transition, a number of beloveds from this community were on a trip to Bali that Heather had originally intended to be a part of. And that group of beloveds obtained for her a hand-woven stole and had it blessed and sprinkled with holy water, exactly as Heather would have wanted. And so I would like to invite Will forward, her wonderful husband, to receive this stole as representation of her practitioner heart and consciousness, all that she accomplished and all that she is still doing and being. is an important part of being a practitioner. This is a stole. You see many, many kinds. They can be any color, any material. They're a garment that we wear around our neck to demonstrate that we are aware of our high intention and consciousness. It can indicate to people in the community that we're available for prayer or to be a listening ear. It can be part of, putting our game face on when it's time to hold high watch or do a meditation. Receiving your first stole and wearing it for the first time is a threshold experience in the life of a practitioner. Even if you're someone like me who doesn't tend to wear your stole very often, even though I do keep collecting them. It's interesting. Even if you're not a particularly formal person, having a stole is a physical reminder, a representation of our high intention to be spirit in action in every conversation, in every thought that wanders through our mind, to hold the world prayerfully and with loving kindness. And so each, Rachel and Maureen, will be receiving their stole today. Everybody gets to pick their own. So they had ordered theirs to look the way they wanted it to look. And I asked them both, please don't put it on yet. Let this moment be the moment you wear it for the first time. How this process will work is just like with Heather. I'll take a moment to share a little bit about the graduate that we're celebrating. And then I will invite their stoling team forward. You know who you are. And then together, we'll place that stole over their shoulders. And then we all get to show them how much we appreciate their years of work, their personal sacrifice, their high consciousness, and all that is yet to come with rousing applause. So we begin with Rachel. As you can tell, she is a shy flower. Rachel came bounding into this community all high energy and brilliant hopes and great ideas and excitement and kids trailing after her and kids that weren't even hers following them, like the grandmama duck of New Vision Center. She's so fun. Everybody wants to be with her, be around her. It was not a surprise that she very quickly ended up serving in the youth and family ministry and eventually became director of youth and family ministry 2 different times, because there's something in her that simply will not allow it to stand if the youth of our community are not being fully loved up and held in the most beautiful energy. She has supported congregant care. She is the first to be a yes when asked to help with literally anything. She might be a little bit late, but she will be there. Rachel has a powerful consciousness. She came into practitioner training with a highly, highly established coaching consciousness. So some of this didn't feel new, and then some of it really did. It was really fun and interesting to get to watch you balance what you've learned before and all the beautiful faith training you have from formation and growing up in the Mennonite church with parents who were so beautifully dedicated to your faith, with a family that holds you so beautifully, with a daughter that I think is somewhat dazzled by you at times. I get it. I am too, Ellie. A strong practice and a powerful dedication to authenticity and vulnerability at every level, even if it's uncomfortable. You give yourself the space to be who you are, and that gives everybody else permission to do the same. She's committed to her integrity. She's committed to her daughter. She's committed to all of the children that she has gathered around her heart, from marriages including children who came from marriages after she was no longer married to that person. You are a place of love. It is not a surprise to me that you landed here. In fact, I said to Reverend Karen the first time I met you, she's going to end up a practitioner. And so I would like to invite Rachel to stand and to invite her parents forward. And if you step to the front here, love. Each of you take a hold, one and the other, and then drape it right around her shoulders. Please join me in celebrating Rachel Sartori. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Isn't this fun? And now we get to celebrate Maureen Geraghty. I'm not sure there are any jobs left in this community that you have not done, Maureen. As is the tradition in this class, everybody came into Prac 1 having either done Prac 1 before or other substantial parallel training. And so this was Maureen's second time through Prac 1. And I think I keep attracting people who do this multiple level training because I think I should have done Prac 1 twice and I didn't. And so I just keep incarnating it through all the other beloveds. Maureen has been, and this is not an exhaustive list, the Leadership Council President, the Director of the Sacred Service Ministry. She has been part of outreach at a leadership level. She has been part of youth and family. She is holding the prayers of the children in prayer all the time. She is part of congregant care, and she holds a position in the office. Take a breath. And that's just the last couple years. I mean, truly, I'm not sure that there's a team left you haven't served. In addition to having a strong practice, raising a young man who has grown up to be a man, who's about to get married, who is loving and kind and respectful and powerful and is manifesting the life of his dreams. In addition to all of that goodness, Maureen has focused in and doubled down on being the love, inside out. Being the love, seeing the truth of the love of who you are has transformed how you show up in this community and in the world. Bit by bit, bit by bit. And you shine so bright. You shine as bright as that yellow, that ethereal yellow dress. You stepped into expanding your worldview, and at times it's hard, because Prac 1 in particular, we poke a lot of buttons. But you never came close to quitting. At least you never let me see it if you did. You were the one that never wavered. With a deep love of family and dear friends, including your son and future daughter-in-law, your many, many siblings, your mom, your dad. Through transition and challenge, loving so many people into their next life over the last few years, you have been truly one who walks people into their angel life. I cannot wait to see how that expands into your practitioner work. And so to honor you, I invite Maureen's friends, Tony and Janet, to come forward to the platform. Please join me in celebrating Practitioner Maureen Geraghty. may be seated.
I am one, simple and plain, no superpowers, no famous name, but I stand tall, 'cause I believe something greater has come alive inside of me. I have felt the Spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I'm with you, I am home. Side by side, we find the truth. When the Spirit in me meets the same in you, I have felt this fire burning in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. So I will give love, and I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I know God. I know God.
Is this a joke you played on me? not to have the reading. Sorry, that goes way back, way back. Oh, good. It's here. My name is Reverend Jeff Hargis, and this is Moments of My High Resolve by Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Despite the dullness and barrenness of the days that pass, if I search with due diligence, I can always find a deposit left by some former radiance. But I had forgotten. At the time, it was full-orbed, glorious, and resplendent. I was sure that I would never forget. In this fullness, I was sure that it would illumine my path for the rest of my journey. I had forgotten how easy it was to forget. There was no intent to betray what seemed so sure at the time. My response was whole, clean, and authentic. But little by little, there crept into my life the dust and grit of the journey. Details, lower level demands, all kinds of cross currents. Nothing momentous, nothing overwhelming, nothing flagrant, just wear and tear. If there had been some direct challenge, a clear-cut issue, I would have fought it to the end and beyond. And in the quietness of this place, surrounded by all-pervading presence of God, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or foul, in good times or tempests, in the days when the darkness and the foe are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Our hearts are filled, yes? Yeah, and so we are at the end of our program. I want to thank again each and every one of you who came here. I want to thank all of you, you beloved Heather, for making it to this point to do the work, to have that sacred yes. Thank you for being here, for participating, for sharing those stories. They are so filling our hearts. We would invite everyone to a light reception in the lobby immediately after, following the recessional. And I hear there is an electronic photo booth out there. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'm excited about it. I want to really just remind everybody to let the ministers and practitioners leave. We're going to leave the way we came in, and then when we are done with our recessional, please come join us in the lobby. I thought the music was just amazing, wasn't it? Yes. So thank you, Mark Arnold and Jackie Lee. It added so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, please join me as we just bring this all together and as we feel into that place of fullness, of gratitude for all the good that has taken place here. May we so walk, that whoever walks beside us abides in the presence of Spirit knowingly. And whoever places a hand in ours, may they be lifted up immediately. Whoever reaches us in mind, may the mind in them that is the divine. And may all those who come to know you know the eternal truth. God and I are one eternally. We go forth and be Spirit in action. Thank you, life. And so it is.